meters. It was humongous. You
Wow.
know, yes, very large.
That's what,
30
33
feet.
feet, something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, 30. It's big, 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 big.
Yeah.
Meters. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to make it so
Yeah,
that
I know.
everyone could understand. But it was like one of the wildest things I'd ever seen. But it wasn't like, when I say Cthulhu, I don't mean it was like black and menacing. It was just this wad of glass tentacles in the air. It was wild.
Tentacular.
Yeah.
It's,
But apparently he does lots of them. Oh,
Yeah, that's not going to work. It's just going to take out my background. That's fine. I have a Cthulhu book, but the camera won't pick it up because Eldritch Horror.
because yes,
It doesn't
yes,
actually
you
exist. It's only in your
hit
mind.
the camera preserved our sanity. You know, you said beer shake. We've got a drive-through place in the United States called Sonic, and they do all kinds of drinks and things like that. Well, the one, I don't know if all of them are like this, but the one around here is doing wine slushies.
What? All right.
I'm like, and slushies are one of the things they're kind of paid for, like cherry limeade slushy or whatever. I'm like, wine.
Like
I mean, they could do
actual
alcoholic.
wine or wine flavor?
I
Why not?
don't know. I haven't gotten one.
That is totally defeating the purpose.
Yeah, wouldn't a bunch of the wine just not freeze? Like the alcohol wouldn't freeze, right? So you would just end up with alcohol in the bottom of the slushy.
I don't know if it'd be the bottom of the top. Remember those slushies we got in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
The big ones with the liquor on top?
Yeah, the 151 or
Yes.
PGA or whatever it was on top.
Lots of liquor on top.
Holy crap.
Yes.
And it was served, some of them were served in those big whale bones.
Yeah.
They're real narrow, but still they're like 3 feet long. That's a lot of liquor. And you could pay, that's right. You could pay an extra $1 for an extra shot of PGA. Holy crap.
I think it was 151. I don't think it was quite PGA, but close.
All right. At that point, either one's flammable, so. Oh. So, Jamie, you are the master of screens. How is this going to play out?
Well,
with grace and style.
Yeah.
Well.
When you're ready to take Mike through his Little Shop of Horrors. I mean vignette.
Vignette.
Then me and Heath will mute, and I will change to a special screen.
Special
edition. And at some point in the middle of it, I'm going to change it again because the one that I wanted to make, I'm still making. So,
all right.
We're building the plane as it takes off here, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hold on tight.
Everyone
not
grab an oar.
Right. Only bank left.
Just breathe into the bag. You'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting on the front of the train, laying rail.
Mm-hmm. It's the Buster Keaton movie where there's one of the beams is in the way and he has to knock it out while the train's moving. So yeah, and I'm eating dinner.
All right. Well, let's get started.
Very well.
Heath and I will mute.
Shut up.
Don't leave me alone with him. Last time I lost a finger.
I think we're a clone now.
I'm counting them before I go in.
That actually might be trademark infringement. What didn't Yankovic actually do that? I think I'm a clone now. Yeah. Heath is nodding. He's muting himself. He is.
Manual mute. Yep, that'll do it.
Oh, shoot. I forgot to bring up the dice thing. Let me, I'm not ready. Let me bring up Roll20 real quick. Looks like you already have it up.
To me?
No, Jamie's got it up for the stream.
Of course he does. He's on it.
Logging in, loading up.
I don't know how many people know that, like, Jamie's running the stream and, like, organizes all the graphics and everything for the stream. Like he's doing all the technical crap in the background.
Yes. He was generous enough to take that from me like 20 or 5 episodes ago, like early on. He kept asking, "Hey, do you want me to do this?" I'm like, "Nah, it's okay. Like, just play." And finally, he started showing me some designs. I'm like, "Yeah, man, go for it." That's great. I love it.
I'm just heaping praise on him while he's off camera. So,
Yeah, and muted, so we can say
muted,
whatever we want.
so he
He
can't
won't
object.
hear us. So we're going to start out literally waking up the next day. You have had a long rest. You've just left Drakthar's way. Oh, hang on, my wax just slipped. Okay. You've just left Drakthar's way, came back, did a little bit of tooling around town, got some information about, or actually gave some information about what's going on to Jenya, and she took the bodies to inter them, and you're supposed to go back to her whenever you decide that you're ready. You know, they can do the magical embalmment for as long as you like. And you're waking up the next day. First, I would like to talk about your level 5.
Oh, yeah.
What happens to your class at level 5?
Tarathiel is a rogue, so he gets more sneak attack at this level. So it's gone up to 3d6 now, which is disgusting.
Yep.
But I'm sure we'll have fun with that. The other thing that happens as a soul knife is that his whatever you call them, what are the crazy dice that he's got? The psionic energy dice. Yeah, psionic energy dice. I've gone up to. I now have 6 of them. I'm not using them very often. There's a bunch of reasons for that.
Okay.
But they've gone from a D6 to a D8, so they're also stronger now than they were before.
And excuse me, you have 6 a day?
I have 6 a day. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. I can recover 1 per short rest. So even if I do run out, a short rest will let me get 1 back. And one of the tricks that I can do, which is the psychic connection, where we have the walkie-talkies.
Yep.
That one I can do once for free per day. So
okay,
I can do it once per long rest without expending a die, and then after that it costs a die every time.
And that's D however many your dice is. So now it's D8 hours where it used to be.
Now it's D8 hours. Yeah. So nice. now I can start rolling ones on the D8 instead of on the D6.
Well, exciting. You're not really a spellcaster, so you don't get anything as far as that goes, right?
No, I do get 1 more trait though, which is based on being a rogue. I get uncanny dodge, so I can use a reaction to halve an attack's damage against me if I can see it coming. And I think that's it. that's
every
round
the rules
for it.
Wow.
Every round, yeah. If somebody attacks me and I can see them coming, then I can use my reaction to halve the damage.
Now your face just turned technicolor like your background. I'm not sure if that was intention. Welcome back. Okay. You had like this Zartan thing going on. I couldn't tell if you were there or if it was the background.
Nope.
Mo better. Yes.
I didn't do it.
So you wake up the next morning. You've spent the night again in the Drunken Morkoth. When you wake up, you've actually got a small envelope that's been slid under your door.
Ooh.
Oh.
Tarathiel will very, very carefully pick it up and examine it.
Okay, you lose a finger first, and then it's closed and sealed with a stylized M.
I'll get my finger cutting wax. Stylized M.
M.
I don't have my notes in front of me. Is this a thing I would remember?
Do you remember who you're meeting?
No.
Maple.
I should have looked this up. Maple.
It's okay. Her name's Maple.
Okay.
So just a little hint as to who it may be from.
Alrighty. Yeah, in that case, Tarathiel will he'll check the door and the window to see if they've been tampered with. Okay. I imagine he's the type that sticks a hair over the crack every night.
Yeah.
Over the door and over the window.
You know, when I was a kid, if I tried to do a booby trap, I would take like a G.I. Joe and attach a string to it and have the door barely open, So if somebody opened it, it would drop and swing like a booby trap slap / I knew you were here kind of thing. So I'm sure that's exactly what Tarathiel does. GI Joe booby trap. Give me an investigation.
He has a collection of GI Joes. Investigation. Investigation. 18.
18. It does not look like anybody has come in through your door or your window. It was definitely just the letter under the door.
All right. Yeah. Once he's satisfied that everything is safe and cool, he will open up the letter and have a look.
Okay. Pop it open, and it turns into one of those screamers from Harry Potter. Harry, Ronald Weasley. No, you pull out the letter, and it's a very simple message. Change of plans. Koi Nixie, 8 p.m. And it's got an M underlined at the bottom. And having been in Cauldron, granted, this is the 9th day you've been in the city. You've had some downtime to look around, and you've heard of the Koi Nixie. It's kind of a mid to upper level restaurant. A little expensive, but well known and in the upper area. Actually, it's number 19 on the map. So if you could look at it, you can see. Where's my map? Do I have a map?
Too many windows open.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, to the east. Far east, right along the wall. But it's on the outer perimeter, the Obsidian Avenue, which, as y'all remember, like the further out you get, the more expensive and the ritzier the areas are. So it says, change of plans, Koi Nixie, 8 p.m., M underlined, which is like 12 hours from now, more or less.
Koi Nixie.
Nixie.
Gonna have to get some better clothes.
You're probably right. I mean, this is kind of a black tie kind of place.
Mm-hmm.
I know you had mentioned before that there were some things you wanted to do. And just kind of a behind the scenes. Yeah, this is happening tonight. But the characters are enjoying some downtime right now. So if you've got things you want to do that will take longer than 12 hours, or if you've got plans, let me know. We'll get started. We'll initiate what's going on. But as of right now, you've got the day before you meet up with Maple.
Okay. Then yeah, Tarathiel will get himself organized for the day. He has a like a wooden carving of a bird that he wears around his neck and a leather strap. Make sure that that's in place and under his clothes. Gets everything ready to go. Heads down, has some breakfast.
What kind of bird is it? Is it a specific kind of bird?
I think it's a raven, but I would need to check. I did put it in my notes somewhere, but I'm not sure exactly where I put it.
Okay. We can come back to that. That's fine.
We'll say it's a raven, and then I'll change my notes later if I'm wrong.
Good enough. That's a nice thing to pretend. You can change your pretending anytime.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a raven and was always a raven.
You pretend well. All right. So you're heading out for the day.
Yeah.
What would you like to do during the day, if anything? If not, we will skip to the Maple time.
So Tarathiel has a strange idea. He would like to find a toy maker somewhere in the city.
All right.
Because they have a phenomenal amount of money, and I know a bunch of orphans, and I want to do something nice for them.
Okay.
It's Christmas time.
Honestly, the best that would have been, not because of what his storefront was, but because of his skill level, would have been Gelv's locks. Gelv is an expert tinkerer, but his shop has been shut down and taken over by the city.
And he was imprisoned or banished? I don't remember.
He was banished from the city.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me just take a look. There are no specific toy shops. There are shops. Honestly, you ask around, or you ask Nalini or the barkeep, which still nobody's asked his name, which I think is hilarious. I don't want you to do right now. If there's anywhere that has toys or a good place to sell, there's a place called Tybolt's Old Things, and they think that, which is kind of like a pawn shop, for lack of a better word, but like an antique store / pawn shop. So they think that if you're going to try to find something like that, to buy something, that would be the place to do it. But as far as actually having it made, nothing comes to mind, at least to them.
Okay. Really hoping to get something custom made.
The barkeep says, well, ask him. He's a purveyor of goods. He may know where to get them or have them made.
All right.
I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
And do you know where I could get a good suit in the city?
A suit? How much you want to pay?
Enough that I look reasonable, but not enough that I can't eat anymore.
Well, you are eating for free, but let me see. Yeah, there is a nice, excuse me, there's a nice place up actually near St. Cuthbert's Church, back behind it on Obsidian Avenue. It's a clothier. It's a more expensive clothier. They'll be able to set you up, do measurements, and do a tailored suit for you if you choose. Or you can buy off the rack.
I don't have the body for an off-the-rack suit. I need a custom tailored.
I'm looking for gloves, all right?
Yeah, I mean, Tarathiel's an elf, so he probably has a weird body shape in comparison to humans, a little bit at least.
Like long body, thin frame. Yeah.
Yeah. In a city full of humans, he's going to need a custom tailor job.
It's Kalen's Clothiers, up in, like I said, Northern Obsidian, back behind St. Cuthbert's Church.
Kalen?
Yeah, and I'm pinging on the map where you'll find it, but that's no big deal.
Yeah, I'm not actually looking at the map when you're pinging,
okay.
But I'm assuming back here somewhere.
That's exactly where I pinged. It's amazing. That psychic connection is working. All right,
you gotta say over when you finish talking. Over.
Over copy. Copy over. All right, you head over to Kalen's.
Yeah.
Walk inside, plain storefront. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Tarathiel says goodbye to the barkeep, but he calls him barkeep because he just thinks it's probably the guy's name.
First name bar, last name keep. Everybody.
Yep.
It's like a celebrity. Always gets called by the first and last name.
I thought it was like Bakeep, like with an apostrophe.
You head out and get to Kalen's Clothier's normal storefront. And again, by the way, it is raining so hard that the declination of the roads have become, in the center of them, are basically rivers. So you have to kind of walk along the side, and even then it's muddy. All the water is just pouring, and you can tell it's obviously going down to the crater in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly make your way over to Kalen's. You walk in. You're the only one there. It's fairly early in the morning, and nobody's getting out in the weather, especially to buy a nice suit. You walk in, and it's an older human. Looks over. Hey, how are you? What can I do for you?
I'm suddenly find myself in need of a nice suit for a dinner.
When's the dinner?
It is tonight at 8 p.m. apparently.
Oh, you need it today. How wonderful. I can, by all means, of course, have this ready for you by 7 p.m. It does cost a little bit more for the expediency, but it's well worth it.
Well, I value expediency. How much are we talking?
For the suit itself, 10 gold. The expediency will cost you another 2 gold.
It's reasonable.
He looks a little disappointed. as though maybe he should have asked for more. Done. Let's take your measurements, and I'll get started right away. I have nothing pressing that I can't put away for a fine gentleman such as yourself.
I while he's measuring Tarathiel up, he'll ask, you must know a few seamstresses or
Well,
tailors, people that sew.
I'm by far the best in town. What can I do for you?
I'm certain you are, but I'm looking for somebody that doesn't do clothes as much as stuffed toys.
Oh, I see.
That sort of thing might be something that you don't have the time for, but you might know someone.
Well, what's your time frame for that?
Not a great rush.
I can certainly look around. I'll see if I can find it, or I'll see if I can contact someone before you have your suit tonight.
Thank you. That would also be appreciated.
Of course.
I'm sure, I'm hoping to commission some work. So if you can put me in contact with somebody, I'm sure we can come to some kind of financial arrangement.
You're wanting to craft dolls, yes? Cloth dolls,
Yes.
stuffed with cotton or hay?
Whatever is comfortable for the children. Cotton, I assume, is more comfortable than hay.
Cotton. Cotton it is. That shouldn't be too difficult. I'll see what I can find out. And he's talking to you as he's doing your measurements. You're doing the whole YMCA and he's cupping and things like that. 20, 30 minutes later.
I was just going to say, like, as he's doing that, he might make note of the fact that Tarathiel's missing 2 fingers on his right hand, and he has quite a number of scars on his face as well.
Are you needing a set of special gloves?
Yes.
All right. I'll be sure to have those ready for you as well. May I ask what happened to your hand, if I'm not being too bold?
I made some choices that maybe weren't great. And
it happens.
I paid for them, but not in gold.
Looks like you paid twice. He's measuring, and shoes will be included with the suit. Everything will be ready and perfect, I promise. Or my name isn't Kalen.
Kalen, you're a gentleman. Thank you very much for your assistance. I'll be back for 7 p.m.
It will be ready.
Other than that, so Tarathiel will walk back out into the street. I guess if it's pretty much continuously raining, right? It never stops.
It has not stopped for at least 3 days. It started. It was on and off when you first got here. Dark skies. Usually midday it would rain, or it would clear up at midday, but it would start the morning out and end the day out raining. But as those 3 or 4 days progressed, it got to where it's just more and more. And literally the last 3 days, it has been nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy, not just like drizzling rain, like heavy rains for days.
Yeah. So I guess Tarathiel will try and source a umbrella or something while he's out and about in the city. But his kind of pet project is trying to disassemble the last laugh. That's his long-term goal, is to try and identify people within the organization and kind of when you have in a TV show, you get the conspiracy board with all the different faces, and like trying to figure out who reports to who, and basically building the org chart of an evil organization.
Yes, that's what you're doing.
That is what he's trying to do.
So far you've got Jill, which was, her. You've got the 3 guardsmen for sure. What else do you know right now? I mean, you know that you've met probably the guild master who took your finger.
Yep.
And which you had no choice whatsoever because I was running your character at the time.
Yes.
You know they use. Go ahead.
I know that Jill can change form.
Yes.
In some way, shape, or form. And it was also there was the heavy set woman outside the bakery that directed us to Oryx in the end. Was that, I think we determined that wasn't Jill, or we weren't sure if that was Jill.
You weren't sure, but you weren't not sure either.
Yeah. But I do know the only other thing that I do know about them is that they are using the what is the location, number 20? The Lakeside Pavilion. They're using the Lakeside Pavilion as like a meeting place.
Yeah, it's like a dead drop.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obvious that disguises are used, different faces from day to day. But
Mm-hmm.
you also realize that the tipped tankard, which is where up here, number 15, it's where it's like the cop bar. It's the cop restaurant. It's where all the guardsmen go on the end of their shift. That's also very, very heavily frequented by members of the Last Laugh, which isn't too much of a surprise because there's such a heavy connection in certain people. But you're certain it's definitely not, quote, the guild hall by any stretch of the imagination. It's just somewhere that they frequent themselves. It's like going to a restaurant where the Goodfellas always go. It's that kind of feel, because that's how you feel about the Last Laugh. It is a organized crime syndicate, not just, which I guess thieves guilds really are, but this is for sure like organized crime.
So I guess the Tarathiel's plan for the day leading up to picking up his suit and going out for dinner is to pretty much hang out at the pavilion somewhere, and just take note of traffic, just to get a feel for who's coming, who's going, when, why, who talks to who. It's still very, very early days and this stuff. He definitely doesn't want to walk into a cop bar and hang out. Does not seem like a good plan.
Pretty well known by most of the cops at this point too.
Is pretty well known, but before getting to the pavilion, he will use the hat of disguise to change what he looks like to look like a different person entirely, and probably in the walk from the clothier to the pavilion, he will take a few different turns and try and get lost in crowds and get a feel for if somebody is following him. He wants to make it as difficult as possible for them to figure out where he's gone, and change what he looks like a few times before he gets to the pavilion.
So take like 7 lefts, see who all follows you, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me a perception check for one to kind of see if you're being tailed. And I think the hat of disguise, there's no role with that. It's just it acts like the spell alter self, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Perception.
Disguise self, not alter self.
Disguise
so
self.
it is an illusion. If somebody can see through it, then they would see right through it and see Tarathiel underneath.
Okay. And if they touch you, if you've made yourself taller or shorter, they can feel the difference, that kind of thing.
They would definitely be able to tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't feel like anybody's following you.
Okay.
You make your turns, spend an extra 30 minutes walking around, walking through alleys as one person coming out as somebody else, and end your short, long walk to the pavilion. And basically going to spend your day there until you return to Kalen's clothier.
Yep. Okay. He'll grab a taco. There'll be a truck there, I'm sure.
Yeah, there is. All right. So you spend majority of the day. And the nice thing about the pavilion is it has a roof, so you're out of the rain. But one of the things you do notice, it's not so much the people, but you notice that the lake is noticeably not like before your eyes, but it's definitely risen a good 2 or 3 feet in the past couple of days. Just in passing, you hear people talking about the flood season and the flood festival, and you remember 15 years ago or longer, 25 years ago, when before the priests started taking care of the floods, how the entire Ash Avenue, almost up to Lava Avenue, was covered by water. And just you're in a pavilion, like people come have lunch, people have their getaways together, and you hear people talking a little bit concerned about the rising water because this, by most people's reckoning, is the hardest it's ever flooded, at least as long as they can remember.
Does anybody have it like? Does Tarathiel get the sensation that the priest should have already started taking care of this and they're not, or just that they haven't gotten around to it yet, or
Uncertainty. The general people that are talking, you don't see any priests down there. But the general talk is, was it? Did they start this early, or how long did I can't remember? That kind of feeling. Like I'm not sure if they should have started by now. It's not the flood festival yet. Do they actually wait for the first day to start the? Not quite sure. Nobody can actually remember because it's not happened in a long time to where it's been needed.
It's been a while.
Kind of lost in myth and mystery. As far as picking up on any kind of thieving occurrences, more or less, you're getting an idea because those hats, the hat that you're wearing, doesn't like really drastically change. It would it would be like a filter on Snapchat. Like you can tell it's you, but it's like more of a girly you with nice big, that kind of thing. It'll pass in general inspection a little better than Snapchat, I suppose, but you can't change a whole lot. You can change. So just by keeping an eye out and specifically looking for things like that, you see every once in a while somebody that could easily be the cousin of somebody you saw an hour ago. That kind of thing. Like you're starting to see familiarities.
Yeah. So my intention is that he probably isn't going to get a solid lead off of this, but just to immerse himself in it, so that if he sees someone in the future, he can go, I know you, I know that you've spoken to this other guy. Like just, really getting a feel for things more than actually doing anything yet.
You're connecting the strings.
Yep.
Okay. All right. No problem. You finish up and head back to Kalen's.
Yep.
And you walk inside, and Kalen's in there, and he's got the suit, and it's sitting on like a single rack, and the shoes are sitting. It's resplendent. It is amazingly well designed and sewn. And Kalen's smiling from ear to ear. He's very proud of himself, obviously, but he's also. I also found someone that could do your dolls. She goes by the name of Moonfish. She's a little bit of a character, but I can definitely get you in connection with her.
Tarathiel raises an eyebrow at the name Moonfish, but doesn't say anything.
And he scribbles an address basically and hands it to you. She should be able to take care of that.
That sounds lovely. Thank you very much.
And he also has a nice big umbrella sitting beside the suit.
Perfect.
My gift.
Tarathiel will pay the man 20 gold pieces.
Now he smiles even bigger. That look of disappointment is definitely washed over by joy. Anytime, you are always welcome, and you, sir, I will give a discount. Please do come again.
I will, and I'll tell my friends.
Thank you.
I've got one at least that could be a bit of a challenge.
Oh, he smiles. You don't come into this building unknown, my friend.
Well, I'm off on a date. How do I look?
Amazing, exquisite.
Perfect.
I would let you buy me dinner.
Well, buy me a drink first, and Tarathiel will wander off.
Okay. Head out. Go to the Koi Nixie, and it's as expected. A ritzier style restaurant. There is a person up front who asks for your name, asks if you have reservations. Do you have reservations, sir?
I believe so, but it might be under a different name.
Are you meeting someone?
Yes. And Tarathiel will hand over the letter that he was given.
He opens it, closes it, hands it back to you. Right this way.
This is when I find out that Maple works in the kitchen.
He turns, meanders through the actual restaurant proper, and there are a set, probably looks like 3 or 4 private rooms for parties and special guests. Takes you into one of those rooms, opens the door, allows you in, shuts the door behind you. As you walk in, you do see Maple. You recognize her. She's well dressed in finery, just like you've done. She's gone and gotten her best. But along with her, there are 2 other people, 2 half elves. A blonde, pale male, looks like he's 20, and a brunette, darkly tanned male who looks like he's probably around 20 years old. And as you walk in, they both stand up in tandem, give a slow bow, and sit back down. And Maple just hops up and just smiling from ear to ear. You made it. How are you?
I am doing well. Yourself? You look better than when I last saw you.
Thanks to you, which is part of why I asked you to come tonight. I've told my friends about you. Please have a seat and order some drinks, order some food. She anytime you just even remotely discuss paying for it, she just no. This is taken care of. This is all. It's fine. You get whatever you like. Tonight is on me. Spend a couple of minutes.
If at all possible, Tarathiel will organize it so he's not sitting with his back to the door.
Okay. And funnily enough, none of you are.
Uh-huh,
You're all sitting to where nobody's back is to the door.
We're all in the booth.
Yeah, we're snug, like elbow to elbow.
Yeah.
I asked you to meet me here originally to say thanks. But in the few days that have passed, and literally it's been a few days, you've done more for the city than most have and done in a lifetime. You've saved children. Just recently heard you were stamping out the goblins. You were seen dragging a couple of bodies out of the bathhouse. And, she talks a little bit and she speaks as though she was like a fly on the wall, not necessarily down in the base, down in Drakthar's caverns, but anywhere in the city, it seems like she's had her eye on you.
Feels like you've been paying very close attention.
We have. And that leads me to introduce you to my 2 friends. This is Fario, and she motions to the blonde, and this is Falion.
I'm going to say Nerio.
Fario. Far? Here. No, we're not doing Sesame Street tonight. Fario and Felion. And they both nod in tandem. And Fario, the blonde, says, "It is actually very nice." And then Felion ends to meet you, finishing each other's sentence.
That's creepy. Do they do that a lot?
We actually do. And she just nods. Yes, you get used to it eventually.
Sure, I will.
And she just,
Pleasure to meet you both.
They nod, and she sits back and just motions to them to start to take over. And Fario begins.
Is it starting to feel like a job offer?
Well, you're intuitive also. And then Maple goes, "Never mind, you talk." And she sits back. Fario looks at you. We are both, and then Valiant finishes with Striders of Fanglin. And you being a person who's from Greyhawk, who knows the gods, you know that Farlangan is the god of horizons and good roads and things like that, like good omen, fair travels, thing, that sort of genre. No, dogma.
Kind of Desna-ish.
I think so. Desna's artsy. This
Shellin is artsy. Desna is dreams.
you're right.
Dreams,
You're right.
stars, and travelers.
Yes, absolutely. We as the Striders of I keep having to look at the way it's spelled is just it looks like something from the Cthulhu. It's Farlaghn, right? So it's Farlangen.
FHAR
LANGHN.
GHN.
Yes. Too few vowels.
I would go with Falan, maybe.
Farlang? Okay.
Yeah, like you could do the GHN like in Vaughan, where it's just a it's just a continued sound.
You don't like Farlangen?
You can go with whatever you like. This is your
You know
world,
what?
Matt. I'm just living in it.
That sounds great. I'm the world's worst about pronouncing words I've never heard. Farlan. And that? All right. We are Striders of Farlan. We are a small group and Felian finishes that keeps to small cells. We look upon the horizon for the evils that may be coming. We're here for a reason. There are more than just the two of us. They're going back and forth, back and forth. There's also Mirthan, who is basically our handler. You can't see him here today, but he's here with us. We're here because we have followed a group known as the Cage Rights. We don't know why they're here, but it can't be any good. We're approaching you because you have already shown that you're willing to fight against the last laugh. We know that they're involved somehow, but we have yet to make the connection. We know that you're not very happy with them, and they both at the same time wave the same hand that you're missing two fingers. And we would like to assist if we can. In doing so, you'll assist us.
It does seem like our desires are well aligned.
So you have actually heard in passing, just because of who you're associated around, you've heard of the Striders of Farlan. How'd you pronounce it?
Farlan.
Farlan's
okay. Fine.
You have heard of the Striders of Farlan, and to give you an idea of the feel you get, think of Harpers from Forgotten Realms. Kind of a secret society of good guys who fight the evil and things like that. That's how you know them. So they're secret society. They're brought in secretly. If by chance it's somebody listening doesn't know who the Harpers are, they are just groups of powerful people doing good, fighting the evil where they can find it, tracking it down, preventing it, so forth and so on.
The kind of loose band of chaotic good adventurers.
Yeah, pretty much. Would you be willing to join the Striders?
Perhaps. What is the requirements? All I want to do is take out the last laugh.
That may be bigger than you think. But we certainly would assist anytime that you wanted to finish a job against them. What we need to know now is how they're involved with the Cage Rights. The young boy that you saved, Taram, was a target for the cage rights. The last laugh was assisting them in finding him and then kidnapping him. We don't know why, but we need to.
Yeah. And Matt, refresh my memory. I think Taram ended up with the family, didn't he? He ended up not in the orphanage.
No, he is in the orphanage still.
He is still in the orphanage.
He
There
is
was
still
one
in the
that we went to talk to and he wasn't there.
Some of them had been adopted, but Taram was still there.
Okay. All right. Well, why would these cage rights be after a kid?
That is the question. And Maple, now that the introduction you guys have talked, she sits up. We keep an eye on, and she kind of slumps for a second. Have you heard of the Alley Bashers? And Mike, I may have told you before, but there's a small thieves guild that was trying to run in Cauldron. That was the name of the thieves guild.
Okay.
Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, says Maple. I was the guild master. We were trying to compete with the last laugh. We couldn't hold a candle to their organization, to whoever's supporting them, to whatever. I mean, we're thieves. We were a thieves guild. Of course, we stole things and we robbed people, and maybe not always for the greater good, but we weren't murderers. We weren't kidnappers. We weren't the fouler things in life. We stayed away from. But when Fario and Felian came into Cauldron, they sought us out, and they've pretty much ended the Alley Bashers. Anybody that was not really on board with what the Striders had in mind, they left. They joined the last laugh. There's only a few of us left from the Alley Bashers. And we're basically Striders now.
All right. Tarathiel seems to be considering, and he's a look of mixed emotions on his face, but he will eventually kind of lean forward and say, if you're here to stop the last laugh and you stand against somebody that is trying to kidnap a kid, then you have my assistance.
Thank you.
Reach out a hand to shake on it.
And she reaches out a hand. If you offer your 3-fingered hand, she offers the opposite hand, as in to shake the hand that's whole.
Okay. Then he will swap over.
When she grabs your hand, she grabs it in a manner to where she only uses the 3 fingers of the other hand. If someone shakes your hand this way, you know that they're giving you word from me. If you see marks, and she holds her hand up like your hand is missing 2 fingers. If you see marks that would look like a hand missing 2 fingers somewhere, look for a dead drop. We'll use this as a means to communicate. I will be your connection. You probably won't see Fario or Felian for quite a while. You certainly won't see Mirthan. Not for a long time. I know we've asked you to come in, but we still have to feel you out.
That's fair. I've been traveling with 2 companions a fair bit in the last week. If you've been keeping an eye on me, and you know them just as well. Should I be making an introduction to them?
You're welcome to tell them whatever you like, but this invitation is to you alone. You have a certain skill set that we look for.
All right. I'll keep it quiet for now.
Thank you. The 2 half-elves say in unison. We have titles because we're an organization. You're now known as a path warden of the Striders.
Okay.
If you need certain items, potions, scrolls, give us a couple of days. We'll see what we can do to help supply you. Otherwise, continue what you're doing because your work is amazing.
Yep. Okay. We will keep it up, and I will wait to hear from you. But in the meantime, I'm still going to be keeping an eye on the last laugh.
And when we find out something more about it, you'll be the first to know.
Okay.
And we're going to cut here because that went a lot longer than I expected.
Yeah. I'm like, we've been going for 50-ish minutes.
Yeah. The plan was like 15, 20 minutes, but you get going and you just lose track.
Yeah. I did some mucking around early too.
I think Heath and Jamie have fallen asleep. Cool. Well, that was our first vignette. I don't know if that's what people. That's what that is. We'll try to do more of those in the future. Actually, we're going to do more of those in the future. I like giving the players one-on-one time to do stuff that they want to do. So I do want you to keep in mind, we are now in downtime. So next time we play, if there's things you want to accomplish during that take longer than 8 to 12 hours that you've had between basically saving the world and saving children, let me know and we'll get things going.
Cool.
If all you want to do is just start Batmaning the last laugh, we'll see what we can do with that too. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry, I'm getting a million texts in the background from my family, so sorry if I was a bit distracted towards the end there, but
that's all right. This was kind of a promptu recording tonight. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We're gonna cut this one off so we can set up for the next one. Okay.
Okay. I will.
Thanks, Matt.
Stop it,
all right.
and then we will start again shortly. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.